Hello and welcome to another episode of The Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. I'm your host, Don Texan, coming to you live from a little living room here in Port Alberni, where I have a beautiful view of the harbor. It's so nice out today. I wish I was out there, but we must continue with the show. As I was saying a while ago, life is a series of yins and yangs. There's ups and downs and ups. For every down, there's always an up. And that's how I met my beautiful and very pretty little guest who I have here today. Somebody canceled dinner on me, a dinner date on me, and I felt down. Then all of a sudden, I got an invite to go out to Sprout Lake on a pontoon boat by my friend, and that's where I met my lovely young guest today. She's so smart, she's so pretty. I will even admit she's prettier than me for now. Please welcome to the show my good friend, Alana Smith. Am I right?
Smit.
Yes, Smith. Alana Smith. Hi, Alana. Thank you for being on the show. It's so lovely to see you. You look so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you for having
I
me.
wish I had a daughter like you. But anyway, I only have three sons. And as you were telling me already, you already have a boyfriend for 4 years. So I'm not recommending any of my sons.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get to it, darling.
Right.
Again, thank you for being on the show. And you told me a while ago you were born and raised in Port Alberni. And so that makes the question, how was it growing up here in Port Alberni?
Well, like you said, life has a lot of ups and downs. And growing up in Port Alberni, you get a lot of ups and you get a lot of downs. You get to know everybody in a small town, so it gets very cliquey, but you also grow these great bonds and these great friendships. And I'm glad to say that I know more than half of the people that I knew a year ago in Port Alberni, because it's such a small town.
Okay, cool. You were telling me that as a kid, as a student, you got into some kind of trouble. Every kid gets into some kind of trouble. What kind of trouble did you get into? I don't have to qualify though. Were you the bully or the bullied?
I'm gonna go ahead and say both. I was both at certain points and times in my life.
Okay.
But, for the trouble, mainly just, kids going out, shenanigans, running around the streets, getting into trouble, getting into, whatever we could, really. And it was fun, but it was also terrifying at the same time.
Or would you care to share some of your little shenanigans? And I mean, every kid has their, like experience. You're not that old. You're like 23, you said?
I'm 23.
Okay.
I'll give you a good one, and I'll give you a bad one. So
Okay,
good one
go ahead.
is I was really into rapping when I was in high school. We would go to parties, and I would have a friend. He would be beatboxing for me, and I would just like start spitting out my raps. So this one time, we went to a 7-Eleven. We were all coming back from a party, all liquored up, and we decided to do just a random show for the clerk at 7-Eleven. So we have it all set up, right? These guys, we got two guys on each side, and they're going like this, nodding their heads. And then this other person is saying, "It's not too late, it's not too late," over and over again. I got my beatboxer beside me, and he's like spitting his beats, and then I just laid down these raps. But at the end,
cool.
the clerk, she gave me a piece of paper for a studio to go to. I lost the piece of paper and I got to go there, but it was awesome. That was a good time. As for like a not so good story, we got into some fights, at some parties. You get a little rowdy. Been in a couple tusks walking down the road. Don't really want to get too into it because it's not that pretty of a story, but
okay.
Things
Yeah, we're
happen.
talking about wonderful Alberni Valley experiences. I guess we can skip that. But anyway, I do have a number of a studio I can give you when you get back here to Port Alberni. Because right now, I should clarify, Alana is in 100 Mile House, right? Or 100 Mile, is it called 100 Mile House? Okay, so that's where she is, but she lives in Port Alberni. She lives and plays in the unceded territories of the Hupachesit and Tishop peoples here in Port Alberni. Okay.
Beautiful.
Right? So I met you out in Sprout Lake. So is that what you're busy with as for work is concerned, as far as work is concerned?
Yeah, so there's a small marina out Sprout Lake, and I've been helping them manage it. It's actually been one of the best points and times in my life, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Small family-owned business. It's my job. Love it.
That's great. And I
Yeah.
met you there, and I noticed that you're not like the other girls. I mean, the girls had their own cliques or whatever, but you're just like stuck with us and my friend, and it was so nice of you. I felt more included in the group as a matter of fact because of you. And I met your lovely dog. Is your dog with you? Is Baz with you today?
He is not with me today. I miss
Aw,
him dearly. He's with my
oh,
boyfriend.
he was such a lovely dog. What kind of a dog was he again?
He is a poodle, Australian Shepherd. His mom has Burnie's mountain dog markings, but she looks like a pit bull. So very interesting mix.
Okay. Now when we were talking earlier, you said that you have some ideas and visions and suggestions for Portal Burning. Like that's my next question. Like you're a very young lady, but you have a good head on your shoulders, I must say. So, uh, in your mind, what would you like to see as an improvement for Portal Burning, or what would you suggest? You have any ideas that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I've noticed that Port Alberni has been changing over the past 3 to 4 years. Seems like there's new money coming in and people with new ideas are coming in. The brewery opened up, which was amazing, and I'd like to see more of the art culture explode in Port Alberni. It's happening at the Harbor Key. More of that stuff. I'd like to see more community gardens. I'd like to see more non-waste stores. You can, because there's a lot of options for non-waste products now.
Hmm.
I know that that would explode in Port Alberni too if we could just get a store to open like that. There's a lot of
Okay,
opportunity. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in Port Alberni too.
of course. I mean, for a 23-year-old, I mean, I must say you have a different kind of mindset. I mean, your head's not on video games and all that nonsense. Anyway, nothing against video gamers. I'm just saying that there's better things to do with your time. Anyway, I'm gonna get a lot of reaction from this.
You could be making momentum.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been out there in Sprout Lake?
I have been out there I'm gonna say 3.5 years.
Okay, and you were sharing with me some very interesting facts about Sprout Lake. Would you like to share that now? Like things about Sprout Lake. There, I know there are arms, and how are we able to preserve Sprout Lake the way it is and stuff like that. What has your experience been working out in Sprout Lake? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I've met a lot of people who don't live in Port Alberni working out Sprout Lake. I've met a lot of cool people, people that I would have never thought I would have ever met in my life. People who do cool things. Um, it's been really good because there's a lot of opportunities that you can, like, I would have never met you. I would have never been on this show if I didn't go out to Sprout Lake. You're just an example of one of the cool people that I've met.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
yeah, it's been good. Like, it's changed my life. It's changed my circle too. Healthy people.
When we were out in Sprout Lake, you mentioned a plan that you had. You wanted to buy property, but it has to be eco-friendly. Can you tell me a little bit about that? That's very interesting. That's a very interesting concept about
So,
such a young person being aware of things that are supposed to be eco-friendly.
yeah. I think that as a society, we need to really focus on more eco-friendly means of living. So I would love to have a piece of property and get a house on it that is totally environmentally sustainable, meaning that I draw my energy from the sun or from water. Like, there's multiple ways to get clean energy. Be gardening, I would be recycling my garbage. And there's also a really cool water system that you can get where
Mm-hmm.
it filters the rainwater, and then it goes into the it gets filtered. Let's see if I can remember this correctly. It gets filtered, goes into the shower, and then the clean water also washes your dishes, the filtered water, and then that water filters down into the plants, and then the sewage is involved in there somehow. I think that's the last step in it, but it's a really cool way of reusing water.
That is so cool. What a great concept. And how do you learn all this? Just from watching stuff and reading about stuff?
Videos. And my boyfriend also is really into all this stuff
Oh,
too, so
wow,
it's
that's so cool.
good. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should have your boyfriend the show one of these days.
You should.
Or maybe I should interview the both of you in the show one of these days.
That's a
Well,
good idea.
anyway, one of the reasons why I created the Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience, was because I hear so many people saying bad things about Port Alberni. Now, there
Right.
are bad things about anywhere you live. There's still a bad thing. You can say something bad about Paris or France or whatever, Surrey or Port Moody or whatever. Now, what would you say to a person who's saying bad things about Port Alberni? Because
I would,
basically you work in the tourism industry or the hospitality industry, right? And you
yeah.
encounter different kinds of people, and even in town there are people who say bad things about Port Alberni, and yet they live here. So I'm
Mhm.
interested from a young person's point of view. What would you say to these people who speak badly about Port Alberni?
I would say that they're just choosing to focus on the negative, and they're not looking at the beautiful parts of Port Alberni, because I would honestly say that the beautiful parts of Port Alberni outweigh the negative parts. They're
Oh,
just looking at the
definitely.
wrong places. There's beautiful nature everywhere. There's beautiful people who have great ideas, and they want to create Port Alberni into. They want to change Port Alberni and continue making it better.
That is so refreshing to hear from a young person because most young people I talk to is like they can't wait to get out of Port Alberni. Have you been ever been away from Port Alberni? I mean, I know you went to California, but was just for a vacation. But was there ever a time that you moved out of Port Alberni or for a long while?
Nope.
Okay,
I've
and you
always,
love Port Alberni.
yeah.
All right, so that brings us now to our rapid fire question and answer portion. All right, let's go. Number one, living in Port Alberni makes me feel like.
Free.
Okay, cool. All right. The people in Port Alberni are.
They are authentic.
Oh, that's a lovely word. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. In a word or a phrase, I I would describe Port Alberni as.
Oh, in a word or a phrase, I would describe Port Alberni as adventurous.
Oh, cool. Very good. Spoken like a true young person. When people ask me what is it like to live in Port Alberni, I say,
It is it is wonderful. It's wonderful.
okay,
It's surrounded by greenery.
okay. Yeah, a person I interviewed once answered this question by saying, oh, Port Alberni is beautiful. It has 50 shades of green. Okay,
That's a good one.
okay. When people ask me what it is I like living in Port Alberni, I say,
It is like no, it's like home. Port Alberni is my
okay, yeah,
home.
I've heard that from many of the people I've interviewed. It is like home indeed, even for
Yeah.
me. Like yesterday was my 5th year anniversary coming to live in Port Alberni.
Woo!
22nd, 2015, I moved to Port Alberni, and so yesterday marked my 5 years of living in the wonderful Alberni Valley
It's amazing.
experience. Okie dokie. Now, next question is what are the first 3 places you would take your guests to? Like they're visiting, like I had my family visit, and so I just took them around some places. What would the first 3 places you would take your visitors to?
I would definitely take them to Hole in the Wall. It's a nice big
Okay.
wall. You go down and there's a bunch of Inuksuks, stone
Yeah.
statues that are stacked. beautiful. After that, I would take them to Weiner Falls. It's not a lot of people
Oh,
actually know
you know
about
what?
Weiner
I've
Falls.
never been to Weiner Falls. And there's an
Me too.
argument there. There's an argument. Is it Weiner or Wiener? I
It's
guess it
pronounced
depends.
Weiner Falls, but Wiener is sometimes I say Wiener Falls just for the heck of it.
Yeah, Weiner Falls seems more touristy.
Yeah. Honestly, I called it Wiener Falls when I first heard about it. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
You
So
can
you
go
have
up
Hole in the
to
Wall, you have Weiner, not Wiener, Weiner Falls, and then what was
and then I would take them to a cool trail that is I don't even know what it's called, but it's just a beautiful river. You go down, you go into this trail. It's up by Estevan Street, and then you go down, and it's just like once you get down there, you don't even feel like you're close to a city or a small town at all. You just feel like
wow.
you're in this beautiful nature.
I must go to that trail. I haven't been to that one. I've been to many
And
trails, but I haven't been to one in Estevan. Okay. Finally, complete this sentence, darling. I love living in Port Alberni because.
because of the nature, because of the people, because of the connections that I made, and I don't know if I'm gonna find those connections anywhere else. Because it's home, because I feel grounded when I'm there.
And you feel like connected.
I
I
feel
mean,
very
to
connected
people,
to
to nature, to everything that is good. That is a wonderful thing to hear from a very young person. You're the first young person I've come across. I guess I haven't come across that many young people because some of the young people I've come across here in this town all can't wait to get out of Port Alberni.
yeah, it's a lot. Oh,
And
I
I
can't wait
come
to.
across stories of like people who left when they were young and now they're back and they're happy to be back.
Exactly. Well, we do need a change of scenery sometimes to appreciate where we were before.
Yeah, that is such a profound way of thinking about it. We do need a change of scene. Like you don't realize what you have until you lose it, and then you want it back.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alana. That was such a nice time talking with you today, and I did get to meet your father, and I
Yeah.
hope to talk to him some more, to her some more, sometime in the future. In the
For sure.
meantime, that's a wrap for us today. This is Don Texan saying we'll catch you next time on the wave.